If you own a Thunder laser and you're ready to engrave tumblers or glasses, you're going to need a rotary. In this video, I'll walk you through exactly how to set it up the right way so your first engravings come out clean, aligned, and ready to sell. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Brett and this is my laser garage. Me and my wife run a full-time laser engraving business out of our home, and this channel is all about helping you out with your laser or CNC business. Today we're diving into the meat and potatoes of rotary setup using the Bolt Pro 32 by Thunder Laser. While I'll be using my Bolt Pro 32 as the example, the steps I'll be showing apply to any Thunder laser and really most gantry-style lasers in general. For this demo, I'll be using the Talon Pro rotary from Rotoboss, my go-to chuck-style rotary, and hands down my favorite. But don't worry, if you're using something different, the fundamentals I'll be covering will work just for about any chuck-style rotary. If you're using a roller-style rotary, the setup will be a bit different, and I'll cover that in a separate video. Using a rotary is essential if you want to engrave tumblers, glassware, or really any cylindrical object. And tumblers are especially great sellers. The good news, it's easier than you think. So come along with me as I walk you through the setup, show a couple real-world projects, and share my best tips and tricks to help you get great results right out of the gate. Sound good? Let's get going. To begin, we need to set up our chuck-style rotary inside the Bolt Pro 32's bed. To do that, I'm going to lower the bed all the way down using the controls on the front of the machine. Next, I'll roughly place my rotary on the honeycomb bed, positioning it about in the middle of the work area. If you're working with the smaller bolt machine, you'll need to take the honeycomb bed out and install the provided mounting clips that come with the Talon Pro. Or you can use the Roco twister tray like I have here. This is a great addition because it allows you to easily remove and reinstall your rotary quickly without having to realign it every time. I'll leave a link to the Roco twister tray, which is made by Robert Kofed of the YouTube channel Computer Creations, in the description if you're interested in learning more about it. But now back to the Bolt Pro 32. To align the rotary to the laser head, I'll first turn off the lights in the laser cabinet. This will allow me to more easily see my red dot laser pointer. I'll jog my laser head over the bottom right portion of the rotary's extrusion and try to place it on a good reference point. You can really pick anywhere you want. One trick to it is to get close to a straight line on the extruded aluminum frame. Then move the rotary slightly by hand in order to hit your mark. I think it's easier to move the rotary to the red dot rather than trying to jog the laser precisely at this point. Now that we have a good reference point set, I'll jog the laser to the left. I have to be careful here when jogging because I have the optional support arm installed on my Talon Pro, which is this part here on the left. This gives support to large, heavy items that the chuck has trouble holding on its own. I use it, for example, when I'm engraving wine bottles, and even though I haven't installed, it's not going to be necessary for any of the other projects I'll be working on in this video. I just want to make sure I don't crash the laser head into the support arm while I'm going through the next few steps. You'll see the red dot has wandered off the extrusion as I jog to the left, which tells me that the rotary is not square to the gantry. While holding the right side of the rotary in place, I'll move the left side slightly until I'm aligned. I'll go through this process a few times, jogging the machine from left to right and back and forth until I get it to a point where the red dot stays on my mark the entire time. Now I know the rotary is square to the gantry. The Talon Pro has handy magnetic feet on the bottom of the frame which will keep it in place. The magnets are strong, so if you accidentally bump it or something, it will remain in the same position and in alignment. Now that our rotary is aligned to our gantry, we'll need to plug in our rotary cable and open up LightBurn to complete the setup. In LightBurn, open the rotary setup menu, which is in the laser tools menu or on the toolbar at the top right. Once opened, you want to make sure chuck is selected under rotary type, and you'll want to enable the rotary by clicking on this box. For the next step, we'll need a test cup. I'll be using a 20-ounce tumbler, but anything similar, either larger or smaller, will work. We'll need to get an accurate diameter measurement of the cup, and to do that, I'll use a set of digital calipers. This cup measures at 86 millimeters, so I'll enter that information into the rotary setup menu. The last info I'll need to enter is the steps per rotation. You'll want to refer to your specific rotary's instruction manual here for guidance. In the Talon Pro manual, They say to start with 16,400 steps per rotation. Next, we'll perform a quick test to verify whether or not this number is in fact correct. First, I'll apply some blue tape to my tumbler. I'm doing this because I don't want to mark up my cup and waste it. This will allow me to mark on it without damaging the powder coating, and will make more sense as I begin testing further. I'll then create a 1" by 1" square in LightBurn and apply some fast speed, low power fill settings so that I'm only marking on the tape, not the actual cup. When using the rotary, it's necessary to run your jobs from either user origin or current position. I always use user origin. You also want to make sure your job origin is set to the middle right as shown, with the current orientation of our cup and rotary. I also find it helpful to turn on the Use Selection Origin button as well. You can see when we highlight our design, this green square here shows the starting origin point. Next, we'll chuck up our taped tumbler, ensuring that it's level, and we'll set our machine origin by placing the red dot on the middle top portion of the cup here. I like to use the chuck lock button here to find the center of the cup. Then jog to the left to my origin point. This origin is where our square design will start, as noted by the green square on our graphic that we saw earlier. Next, don't forget to make sure you're in focus by using the bolt's autofocus probe. Back to LightBurn, we're going to need to send our file to our bolt. Whenever you're using the rotary, you need to make sure you send your job files to the machine. Do not try to press the start button in LightBurn. This is good practice overall when running any jobs, but is essential when using the rotary. Once our file is sent to the laser, we can verify positioning by pressing the frame button. Everything looks great, so we can press start on our bolts controller and get this test running. Once this is finished, we need to move the laser head out of the way and take some measurements. We want to make sure this square is in fact a square and not skewed either smaller or larger in the Y direction. If the square is stretched, lower your steps per rotation. If the square is smaller, raise the steps per rotation. In my case, 16,400 steps per rotation worked out pretty good, but I lowered this to 16,300 to get my square dialed in even better. For me, this worked out really easy. But if you're using another brand of rotary, it may take a little trial and error to get this right. But that's where using blue tape on your cup comes in real handy, so you're not wasting material. With our square test complete, we're all set up and ready to run. All that you may need to change in the future is your object diameter if you switch to a different size cup or other item. Measuring the diameter accurately is very important to ensure your engravings come out proportional and as expected. Now that our rotary is set up and calibrated, let's engrave a tumbler. Here's our logo in LightBurn. I've changed my cup diameter in the settings because we are now using a larger 30-ounce tumbler. We are set up to start from user origin, our cup is leveled, we're in focus, and we have sent our file to the bolt using low power, high-speed settings in order to test this design on a taped-up tumbler. I always test my designs first using the blue tape method in an attempt to save myself from wasting tumblers. Believe me, I've got enough mess-up cups in my house, and I don't think my wife will let me bring any more in. Let's press start and see what happens. Here I have demonstrated one of the most frustrating rotary engraving quirks, the dreaded egg-shaped circle. This is an optical illusion caused by trying to engrave a circle on a cylinder. Let me show you how to fix it though. There are a few ways to deal with this and even some equations you can implement. Laser Engraving 911 has a great video about this, and I'll link to it so you can check it out further if you'd like. I, however, don't like math, so I'll show you how to deal with this in a different way. We basically have to stretch our logo wider in the Y direction in order to compensate for the skewing that we know will take place. I usually stretch an image about 10% or so as a starting point, but this will vary slightly depending on the graphic you're using. In this example, I'll start at about 10% by unlocking our aspect ratio and using the height arrows to increase the graphic slightly. As you can see, our graphic looks a little odd in LightBurn now, but let's see how it engraves on our test cup. By stretching our graphic slightly in the opposite direction of our evil egg shape, we have compensated for this optical illusion, and now our logo looks great. I found this to be the easiest way to deal with this issue quickly, and I go through this process before I start any production run of cups. I find it simple to do, and usually increasing the Y dimension by 4 or 5 clicks or so usually takes care of the egg issue. Now, check out how I apply everything we've been talking about into this 40-ounce tumbler project. First, I set my tumbler diameter, then chuck up the cup in the rotary, level it, and make sure I'm in focus. I then set my starting origin on my controller. I've stretched out my design a little bit since there's circles in it, send my file to the bolt, and run a test on a taped up cup. Once I'm satisfied with the design and layout, I'm ready to remove the tape, rechuck the cup, and run the real project. Here's my settings I typically use on the Bolt Pro 32 on powder-coated tumblers. These take a little bit of work to fine-tune and will change slightly depending on the tumbler color and brand. This is where you will have to sacrifice a few tumblers in order to dial in your settings. There's really no getting around that one. Now, after a light cleaning with some Dawn Power Wash and a magic eraser, we have a beautifully engraved tumbler. Last, let's talk about some of my best rotary and tumbler engraving tips. Use blue tape to mock up your designs and test your layout first. This is probably my #1 tip, and I use it all the time. You're going to mess up enough tumblers as it is testing out settings, so save some heartache and use tape so you don't mess up any because of skewed or misaligned graphics. Create a checklist or use the built-in LightBurn checklist so you don't forget critical items like measuring your cup diameter, leveling your cup, or focusing your laser. Missing any of these steps will ruin your project. Now, if you get a tumbler job and you haven't engraved on a specific model or color tumbler before, do yourself a favor and buy a couple extras so you have material to test on. Build this into your price. There is nothing worse than buying the exact amount of something and unexpectedly ruining one at the last minute, then trying to scramble to buy extras. Ask me how I know. So there you have it, my rotary setup procedure on the Bolt Pro 32. It's not that hard after all, right? The thing is, getting your rotary dialed in isn't difficult, but it does take a little patience. But once it's set, you'll be knocking out custom tumblers, mugs, and even glasses with pro-level results. Don't forget to let me know in the comments what kind of rotary project you want to see next. Want help with your rotary settings or setup? Drop your questions here. I try to answer every single one. And if you found a trick that works great for you, share it below. And if you're interested in the Thunderbolt Pro 32 or any of the gear I used today, check out the links in the description. And if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and maybe share it with someone else who you think might be interested in this content. This channel is all about helping people succeed with lasers and CNCs, and I've got a ton more content on the way. Thanks for hanging out in the garage with me today. I'll catch you on the next one.